What's up, crazy family? Today, I get the privilege and the honor of interviewing and talking to this man. This is Tom BARTINS of TOMWASHERE. He was nominated last year for Best Vlogger in Pittsburgh.
Third place.
Third place. What was the magazine? What was
it was Pittsburgh City Paper. Pittsburgh City Paper.
Yes, and your friend.
Lost to that adventure guy. He was second place.
Nick's such a good guy. We love him. We've had him on our KENNYWOOD KRAZY, and we've interviewed him too.
Yeah,
and
I ran into him earlier today.
All of you who are interested, go back into our YouTube channel. You can watch that interview. But today, we've been playing phone tag for the past year.
A little bit off and on.
We were sit down last year, and it didn't really happen. And that's okay, because I enjoy spending time with you, man. Anytime we first meet up, you know. So I'm going to start from the beginnings, because last time we actually did a little short interview. We didn't do the proper interview.
No, it was just a little.
So you know, I would like to thank you. If it wasn't for you, that one day just sitting down there, these interviews wouldn't have happened.
Well,
you gave me the inspiration to start. Because when we got home, after meeting you that first time, I thought, man, kicking myself in the butt. I should have asked him more questions.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I look, if I can inspire anybody to do anything, put themselves out there more, that's cool by me. So
right.
I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it for sure.
So how long has your channel, TOMWASHERE, been around, and what made you want to start your YouTube channel?
So it's been around for it's 7 years. It's been real. I've actually put effort into it for 5 of those 7. The idea is that similar to your inspiration or your idea of an inspiration to film people or do interviews with people, I had an inspiration to I would watch YouTube. I would watch people on YouTube, and I'd watch them go places. And after a while, I'm like, why can't I go places? I can go places. I would just sit around kind of a lot, not really do too a lot, or just sit on the couch. And I was in my mid-30s and had younger kids, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to have a little snapshot of these times and adventures and things like that? Because you can go to a concert, you can go to a sporting event, you can go to that. But now I have a little encyclopedia, a little videography of me experiencing these different events at these different places. So doing that and being in that, being able to put myself out there where at any point I can go back and go, hey, remember when I attended that show in 2021 or that concert in 2021? I can go back and literally just pull it up with a quick search, and I know exactly what the experience was. I can see my kids grow through the channel. My son's bigger than I am. When he started out, he was real small. Now he's taller than I am, so it's interesting to see him grow through the channel. So it's been a fun, interesting experience. It's got me out more, got me out doing things that I wouldn't normally do. So that's really the emphasis of why I started.
You just said about your son. I know he's in a lot of your videos. Cool. That's great, sharing something. For sure. But I am so, I don't know how to say this. I see the progression, how long you've been doing this for quite a few years.
It's been a few years,
So I've seen some of your videos back then when you started introducing your son. And now how it's just weird because one day he's this short and he's going, it's really interesting. It's fun to watch.
There's a video we did, at Steelers training camp, I think, and it was in August of 2023. And then we did a video Steelers training camp in August of 2024, and he went from this to this. It was just a complete jump of a massive growth. So so it's cool to have that and have that ability that YouTube does provide versus other social media things where they do keep your stuff on file and you can access it for years to come.
It's neat.
And YouTube I think is the biggest social media platform or whatever. So barring any changes that I see, YouTube will be around for as long as, it can be around. So as long as they have YouTube, I'll always have those memories and those keepsakes and those times and experiences that I've had. So for me is everything.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so Tom, your channel is more of different types of interest.
Sure.
Like vlogs and not always just KENNYWOOD or amusement parks. You also like to critique the positives and negatives of that park when you do go.
For sure.
What was I? I wanted to commend you on on doing so, man. Because we also, for us, we also do that. you know, and why do you feel it's critical or crucial for you to do that for your videos?
So the idea, I guess, for anything is if you're paying money to go anywhere, and you go to a place, and all you hear from people is it's sunshine, rainbows, everything's happy, you don't pay a ton of money, all the rides work, everything's great. Only to find out when you get there that you do pay a ton of money, that not all the rides work, that not everything's great. So in that circumstance, you know, being able to tell people and give the park compliments when they've earned and give them criticisms when they've earned. You know, I don't reach out for criticism. I don't try to criticize. I have been going to this park my entire life. It's not my business to criticize the park. However, if you do things that are critical, like for example, let's just take for example a few years back. Black Widow closed. No timetable for when it would come back up. Skyrocket closed. No timetable for when it would come back up. No word from the park as to when it would come back up. Didn't say nothing. Let all people on social media speculate that, oh, there's a park coming in from Germany, or they have to do this, or they have to do that. Don't say anything. Then say, it's opening tomorrow, after like a year and a half. It's like, well, come on.
Yeah, a little transparency.
A little transparency goes a long way.
That is 100%
like
true.
What they've done with Steelers Country this year, they told you, we're working on it. It's gonna be open sometime this year. Under previous years, they wouldn't have said anything and just let that paperweight sit there until they decided to open it without saying anything. Now, last year, going into last year, a week before, after all your season tickets were bought, your season tickets I'm sure were bought, my season tickets were sure bought. They go, week before, they go, whoops, by the way, Steel Curtain ain't opening this year. Sorry, folks. A little transparency helped. How late it was, not great. If you tell people at the start of the year, there's some people that bought passes specifically because they wanted to ride Steel Curtain. That causes an issue. So those things I will criticize. I'm not unfair to you, Kennywood. I'm not unfair. Like, let me give you a praise because I've been critical, so let me praise. The general manager of this park currently, I have not been over here a ton in the last couple of years or whatever since they made the announcement that he's the guy. But every time I have been to this park, I have seen him.
He's in park, and I've talked to him. He's an amazing, wonderful man.
He is hands-on. He shows up. I appreciate someone that is willing to not just sit in their office or whatever and dictate what to do, that he's on the ground. He's seeing how stuff's running. I'm good with that. He can be that guy. I have full faith in that guy to handle the future of this. And it seems since he's taken over that a lot of the things that he has done have been more transparent. And I'm good with that. Do that. Do that more often. That is a good thing. It goes a long way to not just, not for me, for everyone. For everyone. Because they want to be in a park that where they see the general manager walking around, they go, oh, he cares. He wants to actually do stuff. So I'm fine with it. I think that
he cares about the park. He really does, and he's from this area, so he knows the park.
That's another thing. You bring in some guy that's been somewhere else, and they don't know anything about Pittsburgh, they don't know anything about tradition, they don't know anything about Kennywood, and they're just going to be like, well, we're going to do things like get rid of 4 rides randomly in the off season and not say anything, and then have the backlash of the kangaroo. Have the backlash of the kangaroo come back so hard that they had to bring it back, whether that was the plan or not.
So here's the question: you brought this up. Do you really think that was a PR move that they were going to just renovate it and then bring it back, or do you really think that was a genuine reach out to the public and see what they have to say?
I think honestly, when they removed those, based on how they removed them, they were all gone. They were like, these are old, they cost too much to operate, get rid of them. Just get rid of them completely. And then they, as with most things, because a lot of companies walk back stuff, they went, right away. Because if there was a big bearing curve bounce back, and everybody's like, how dare you get rid of the bearing curve? The bearing curve would be here today. Yeah. That's my full confidence. So them getting rid of the kangaroo and having the kangaroo thing, and everybody went, no kangaroo? No.
Listen, that's a staple of this park.
Yeah, I rode the kangaroo with my grandparents.
Yeah.
I rode the kangaroo with my parents. I rode the kangaroo with my kids. My kids rode the kangaroo with my grandparents. This is a generational ride. It's not something that they can just remove randomly on a whim. Now, the volcano they replaced with Spinvasion, that stuff happens all the time. Nobody was pounding the table for the volcano. They might miss it, but they weren't pounding the table for it. Barren Curve, they still haven't replaced it. There's lockers over there now. So they still haven't replaced the Barren Curve. They haven't replaced the paratroopers. I'm looking at where the paratroopers are currently. Back there.
Right there.
I think there's a tree there. I can't ride the tree. You understand? I can't ride the tree. So I need something I can ride because, as mentioned, I've mentioned this in several videos, when you remove rides, you do not replace them. Those people have to go somewhere. So those all back up. They all back up. So like if you're removing say there's 20 people in the Barren Curve line, okay? Those 20 people with Barren Curve not there have to go somewhere. Those 20 to 50 people that were in the paratrooper line have to go somewhere. All those rides are longer. All those lines, are longer. Then, wait a minute. What happens if a ride's down? Like Steel Curtain. All those hundreds of people have to go somewhere. They have to go in all the other lines. So food lines are longer, attraction lines are longer, versus you having something that dispels those lines. When Steel Curtain's back up, a lot of people will be over there. That will take away from, let's say you don't have an interest in Steel Curtain, you want to ride anything else, those lines will all be shorter because all those people will be over there. So don't get rid of rides with no plans to replace them unless you're replacing them with something that will draw a crowd.
I 100% agree, brother.
Yeah.
100%. And then I think there maybe was a long-term plan, but again, they are not transparent about that stuff. So that's why people will get upset.
Let people know. Here's I'm no general manager. Like I said, there's a PlayStation game called Theme Park. I ran my own theme park. That's the extent of my
Me too.
That's the extent of my knowledge. But what if you said, hey, we're removing these 4 rides, but we have a plan in place for future attractions or future things to replace these rides or new exciting things are coming soon. Simple. Doesn't guarantee anything. Doesn't promise anything. Just literally says we have a plan.
Have a plan.
Because that whole thing of them just removing everything didn't feel like a plan. And when Kangaroo came back, let's say that was the move. Let's say the move was that they were going to bring back the Kangaroo always, but they teased it as they're going to get rid of it. And then when the public backlash comes in, it goes, no, we're replacing it. If that was the move all along, say we have something hopping your way, something new and exciting, something like that everybody go, oh, they're going to redo the Kangaroo.
Yeah.
But they don't say that. They say nothing. And that's the problem.
So, like, let's change gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about a little more about your channel.
Sure.
So, like, in a series of videos that you've done unboxings or autographed. Please help me pronounce that. Memorabilia. Thank you.
Yes.
Me and my tongue.
Yeah, no worries.
When did you start collecting autographs, and what was your first one?
Okay, so I didn't start collecting autographs really until the pandemic. That was a pandemic hobby.
Oh.
Prior to that, whenever I'd go to like conventions and meet like celebrities and people, I would get a picture. Just get a picture. Because you can fake an autograph. You can't fake a picture. I mean, well, you can fake a picture now, Photoshop, thank you.
Yeah.
But you can't really fake a picture. If you met this person, you got a picture with them, it's like, oh, you met this person, here's a picture. So for years I did that. Then I was like, the pandemic came around and I'm like, I need something. I need some sort of hobby, something I can dig into. And I found people that were selling sports autographs, movie autographs, or trading them for real cheap, like fairly inexpensively. And I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Like, let's do this. And if you ever watched the video and you saw my back wall, as you can see, there's been a lot of growth in those few years. My first one, I don't know what my first one was actually. I have to really think about that. What was my first?
Didn't you get a chance to meet Ernie Hudson?
I did meet Ernie Hudson.
I'm jealous
yes.
because he was in one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Wasn't Ghostbusters, sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
The Crow.
The Crow, yes.
And he got a chance to work with Mr.
Yeah, Brandon Lee.
There you go.
Yes.
And I felt like Brandon just was translucent in that movie.
Yeah.
And just to be able to work with him because the not just the legend, but his dad and that whole family and stuff. It's just they're amazing, talented people
For sure.
And I would have been amazing for me to just meet him and say, talk about that real quick.
One of the benefits of going to like a Steel City Con and other conventions is you do have that ability. That you can walk up to someone. Now, of course, nothing's free in this circumstance. You do have to pay to meet people, but when you can walk up and talk to someone about whatever role, whatever thing, and they'll have a conversation with you about it, and they'll tell you, he would have told you about Brandon Lee and all this stuff and things like that. So, if Ernie Hudson does come today in the future, I would say to go check it out because it's awesome to get that experience. That's one of those things that, you won't be happy. Like I'm never happy when I pay money. like when I put out money to meet people, I'm never happy about it, but I don't remember that when afterwards. I remember the conversation I've had. I remember the pictures. I remember that. And if as soon as the money got, it's like, all right, well, the money's gone. After that, it's like, oh, I remember meeting Ernie Hudson. I remember meeting this person, that person, or whatever, and I have something that says I met this person or that person. That to me is it's well worth it.
So you're an avid haunt goer.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of your videos, you had said that you felt like that the haunts at Kennywood were not up to par as compared to other haunts around the Pittsburgh area.
Yes.
Do you still feel this way, and why?
So, if you go to a haunted house outside of Kennywood, whether it's a farm, whether it's someone's local, these people don't do this year in, year out. They don't do it year round. They do it for October and they do it for the love of haunts. So a farm doesn't have a budget that Kennywood has. Nowhere close does a farm have a budget that Kennywood has. Yet they have innovative things that they do to make it a enjoyable experience. Kennywood actors, the actors that work at Kennywood Fall Fest are great. They do exactly what they're supposed to do.
They have a big, huge heart for the park and for the Phantom Fall.
For sure. And with the scare zones, which I like a lot more than the haunts here, for the most part, they have a chance to improvise, to do things. They have to kind of follow their paths, but they have that ability. In the haunts, drop wall, boo.
That's it.
Drop wall, boo. That's the vast majority of what the haunts at Kennywood are.
Yeah.
The Voodoo Bayou is better because it's open area. You can't do that drop wall boo. You don't have that drop wall boo for the most part. Maybe at one or two places. But for the most part, they have to find ways to hide in certain places, to creatively put themselves into a position to scare people, because that's ultimately what it's all about. The Kennywood planned in Villa and the cemetery, it's the same path that I have walked personally since 2017 when I first started coming to these. It's the same path that, based on what I've heard, I haven't been there prior to, was the same path when they first started in 2001. From what I heard, I could be wrong on this, that things like Kennywood, Kennyville Cemetery, the Villa are largely unchanged from since they started. The thing about haunts is you have to change every once in a while. You have to change it up. If it's as simple as putting someone in a different spot where they don't expect to be. Yeah, maybe you can make those changes. Maybe you can do different innovative things. But when you put the same cookie cutter haunt in the same place, doing exactly the same thing, said I didn't go to Fright Nights, which is a much better name, Fright Nights, until 2017. And I loved it. I loved it in 2017, I loved it in 2018, 2019. Then I made the mistake of going to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, okay.
And when I came back here, I went, oh, this sucks by comparison. This is so inferior. This is bad. Like, it's bad by comparison because what Halloween Horror Nights does is they add production value. And I never expect Kennywood to have the same production value as a Universal. But they can also do that.
Do you think even Kennywood is up their game with the storytelling, though?
They're trying. They're trying.
Like the Malice, they did that, and then what was it? The Bayou's a little bit different. They started telling a story down there.
Right. The idea of what I've always liked about going to haunted houses is give me immersion. What's immersion, you may ask? if you're in a park, an amusement park, but just for a second, you feel like you're walking through a cave or a vampire or a cemetery. If it just loses you, if you think like a movie. If a movie sucks you in, and you're not thinking about your current life, your current station, what's going on, but you're involved in that movie. That's what I want Hans to be. I want Hans to be like, I'm not in Kennywood Park. I'm in a villa of a vampire. I'm in Alice in Wonderland. I'm in a cemetery. I'm in a bayou. Just for a second, just enough to suck me in. That's all I need. Haunts around the area have this. There's times where I was walking through, one of them's a Catholic school. I was walking through a Catholic school, and I didn't think I was walking through a Catholic school. I was walking through an alleyway in a school. And I was like, oh, this is a cool, like, alley. And I went, oh, I saw myself, I'm in a school. I'm in a school right now. How can it be that those people that don't have the same budget as Kennywood can put on more immersive experiences than Kennywood does?
Yeah.
Kennywood has the budget to do better things. They can do it. They can do it. I know they can do it. I have faith that they can do it.
I agree. So, as you know, I'm crazy about Kennywood.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just because my wife started coming here, and we started this whole group with a friend.
For sure.
We're all crazy about this park. But I know this is your home park too.
Yeah.
But I've also had other parks I've got to visit, and I love them too.
Yeah.
What are your favorite parks beside Kennywood?
Okay. All right. So I got a chance to visit Dollywood. In 2021, and loved Dollywood.
Did you film down there?
I did film. I do have a video from 2021.
I'll have to
Dollywood.
go back and watch it.
And I really like Dollywood. I wasn't sure what to expect with Dollywood because I wasn't sure what exactly they, I didn't, other than I've heard very good things, but it's massive. It's massive. They have old rides, new rides. My kids loved it. I loved it, and my son is like he's peak teenager now, so he's like, oh, amusement parks, I don't like them anymore. But he even liked Dollywood. Like, even he was won over by Dollywood. I'm a big fan of Universal Studios Orlando. I really like Universal Studios Orlando. I like Hollywood Studios in Disney. That's probably my favorite Disney one. That's Hollywood cool. Studios. Yeah. I like. I actually got to visit Waldemere for the first time since I was a kid recently, and enjoyed walking through Waldemere. So when you go to different parks, there has to be certain things that, I don't immediately criticize. Like, I don't go and walk in and go, oh, this and that, whatever. It's like, all right, take me in. Let me see. Kennywood, I've been here a few times. So a few times at this point I can criticize. And whenever you've been to somewhere one time, you've never been there before, you're not going to walk in, unless you're real negative, to walk in and just immediately look for criticisms. You want to go in and go, okay, what do you got for me, park? Like, what do we have here? And then you ride a few rides, you're like, oh, these are cool. Like, this is interesting. They don't have this. I'll tell you a park that I did not mention that I love. I only been there one time. Love it. Love it. Knoebels.
Oh, we went there for the first time last year. Amazing. Rocky loved Flying Turns, loved Phoenix. Oh my gosh.
A delightful park.
Yeah, free mission, free. I can't believe they still do that. There's very few parks that do that free mission.
Yeah, I went and I had an hour or two to go to Knoebels. That's all I had. And I was on my way back to Pittsburgh, and I was like, you know what? Knoebels is open today. I'm going to get 2 hours of Knoebels. And I rode. I'm a big dark ride guy. So I like dark rides.
Haunted Mansion.
So the Haunted Mansion I rode the dark coal mine thing, dark diamond mine company thing. Yeah. And I rode the roller coaster that had the like the one that's like a luge. The luge.
That's Flying Turns.
Flying Turns. Yes. Love all of them. They're terrific.
The only one in the United States that's a wooden flume.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. They also have, if you noticed, I noticed, that almost every ride that has left this park, not the same version of it, but is at Knoebels. Do you want to ride the Log Jammer? Guess what? It's at Knoebels. Yes. Turnpike? It's at Knoebels. Ferris wheel? It's at Knoebels. They have everything.
They have the classic rides.
They have the classic rides. You know what they were putting in when last time I was at Knoebels was last year, the year before?
What's that?
The Baron Curve.
Yeah,
is coming
they're
to
almost
Knoebels.
done.
Yeah.
They're almost done with it. It should be running this season. So if y'all crazy want to go up to Knoebels, go ride it, man. You love that ride. You know?
I mean, I'm not a big Baron Curve fan, but you know what? I'd like to ride it every once in a while. Can't ride it here, unfortunately. They still haven't replaced it. I just need to remind the people they still haven't replaced that or the Baron Curve.
So Tom, what about Kennywood are you crazy about?
I like the tradition of Kennywood. I like walking the same steps that I walked when I was a little kid. You know, there was a lot of criticism of Garfield, and I do like they brought it back to the old mill. True, it's not the actual old mill. It's not the old mill that I remember growing up. It doesn't have the little outdoor parts that I remember. It doesn't have the people working outside that I remember. It doesn't have the same thing. It's fine for what it is, but it's not that version. So I always like rides that kind of I grew up with, that I can still ride with my kids, hopefully my kids' kids, things like that. So like the Kangaroo, you know, Phantom's still holding strong, Turtle, those rides that have been around, Jackrabbit, Racer, Thunderbolt, the rides that have been around since I was a little kid. I like that level of history and immersion. Noah's Ark, like I said, I'm a big dark ride, you know, person, even though Noah's Ark's more of a walkthrough. I like those sort of attractions, those things that I can experience with different generations, that, you know, from my parents, my grandparents, to hopefully then being a grandparent and walking my grandkids through it. That's kind of the idea of what I like in Kennywood, is that they still have some rides that have been around for not just my lifetime, but prior, you know, a whole lifetime, you know, before mine, that I really like about them.
It's about memories, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think we asked you that last time, and it's good. Sorry, I'm trying to spit it out.
Yeah.
Like, when we sat down the very first time, that was one of the things that came out on your heart.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's like many people here, we've been coming to this park since we were children.
Right.
And it's transcended generations.
Right.
And that's why this park is so special to everyone who comes to the
For sure.
park.
Yeah.
So what do you think Kennywood did well and should improve?
Okay.
Both basically. Should they improve? Because this is opening day. We're filming this on opening day. We only got to see one blink.
Yeah. Right.
1 cent of the rest of the season. So this is opening day when we're filming this. So what I'm trying to ask is, like, even with just one day, what do you think that they've done well so far?
Yeah.
And what do you think they should improve next time?
So, this is more based on last year, but obviously the new Midway I think is great. I think they made vast improvements in that. Sure, you can't get on a queue and ride that by any stretch, but this park needed a bit of an uplift, you know, be a little bit of a facelift in that sense. So being able to improve that, have some, you know, have that nice walk-in where it doesn't feel like as run down as it did kind of in years past for a while, those are big. If I had to criticize, my biggest criticism at the moment is Steelers Country. Not the Steel Curtain, Steelers Country. Steelers Country, when the concept of it was supposed to be an independent section of the park that they would do it was like a game day feel. Like, you would go there, there'd be nacho carts, there'd be a whole tunnel you could walk through and walk in. Like, if you look at the concept art, this was all there. There was a Steelers fountain. There were screens, there was this level of immersion, and that was built around the Steel Curtain. Like Steel Curtain, and then there was all these other things that you could do. A viable section of the park. Steel Curtain, or Steelers Country is not a viable section of the park. If Steel Curtain isn't on, Steelers Country not open. They didn't do anything to make that anything more that the place where Steel Curtain is.
May I add this on too? And I've said this to other people we've talked to. There's so much space back there. I'm going to tell you this: you can even put a flat ride back there.
You could absolutely put it. You could put a hint dark ride back there.
Because the building is not being used.
Right.
And I was told by Miss Ruby that haunt is there 24/7. They just don't tear that down.
Yeah, because they're not doing anything with that building. The idea of that building, and what the concept was, is you were supposed to run through a virtual training camp where you could throw footballs, you could run a 40-yard dash. Yeah. It was similar to what, like, the Science Center Sportsworks was. So if you've been to Carnegie Science Center, they have Sportsworks, and you can do things like run a dash, you can throw balls, you can do all this type of different events. It would have been a unique event thing. Yeah. I think what happened, and like I said, I'm no expert, so don't come suing me or anything. This is me speculating. I know nothing. is that legal went, oh, you're going to have people sign waivers to do all this stuff. Let's say someone tears an ACL around a 40-yard dash. This is a big issue. We can't have this. And so they went, scrap it. And it's like, cool, what are you going to replace it with? Nothing.
Nothing.
See, you can scrap an idea, but have something that at least you can make. Like, they could have kept that restaurant open, added a few games, added a few things outside, and made it something that you could visit without Steel Curtain running. They didn't do that. They didn't do anything with it. If Steel Curtain's not on, this whole section of the park is closed. And that's a massive issue. Like, that's not something that, they can fix it. They can still fix it. But I don't think they will. I think eventually the Steelers name in the next 2 years, once again, speculation, goes away. And it will be like the black and gold zone and, whatever. And then they might do a couple things here with it. But eventually it would just be the Steel Curtain Country or whatever they call it at that point. And then they'll have the restaurant open and they'll have the gift shop open. And that'll be about it.
I agree. It's still a matter of time. It seems with any IP in this park,
right,
they have it for a short amount of time, and then they just don't run it. We know.
Right.
Like going on Garfield, going on with, speaking of Garfield, and speaking of, just happened this year with the Thomastown.
Yep.
So we probably have anywhere from 5 to 7 years the max.
Yeah.
To where we see this change in names, and that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as we have a roller coaster.
Right. And I wonder if that also is Hirsch End or the new owners of Kennywood. I tried to rack my brain. I could be wrong about this, and someone can let me know if I'm wrong. Whether they have this, I don't think Dollywood or Silver Dollar City already has any like IPs or properties.
I don't know. They have their own.
They have
stuff,
their own characters.
stuff.
And
stuff.
you have
no. Dolly Park is the IP for the whole park.
Yeah.
Even though she is a partner in just that park, Hirschen owns all these parks.
Right.
And she is a partner. There's a whole long story. I'm not going to get into that. But she is a partner in that park in Dollywood.
Yeah. So Dolly is. She's the IP.
Yeah.
But you will find no Dolly slander here. That woman is a national treasure. She's great.
Even though people joke about it, it's just,
there's a lot of. I heard a lot of unfair criticism, like, oh, they're going to turn the park into Dollywood East or Dollyland. That's not going to happen.
We're going to stay Kennywood. We're going to be the Berg. We're going to be the Yinzers, man.
Right.
You know how it is.
Just bring me my cinnamon bread and call it a day. That's all I need. I was looking where? I was like, where is it? Where's my log cabin? Where's my mill? I want my cinnamon bread. I must have my cinnamon bread.
I'm going to be eating it even though I'm diabetic, man. When it comes to legacy, what kind of legacy we should leave to the next generation when it comes to Kennywood Park?
So, Kennywood was in a constant crisis the last few years. They had to decide if they were going to be a theme park, which what they were trying to be for a few years with Steelers Country, with Thomastown, where each park section had its own Lost Kennywood, its own theme. And that's a theme park. Theme park is you go into these different worlds in a park versus the traditional amusement park. Now that Hirsch End has bought this, and what I know about Dollywood and what I know about Silver Dollar City, even though I've never been, I've heard great
things. Amazing park.
I've heard great things.
Yeah.
Is that they have the little worlds you can go in. But for the most part, it is a traditional amusement park. Like you can call it a theme park. Like they have hotels that are Dollywood has a hotel. But for the most part, it's very traditional. There's old rides. There's new rides. I think that is the trajectory for Kennywood, or at least I could hope for it to be. Is that they will have these innovative rides like Steel Curtain, but at the same time keep a 120 plus year old roller coaster going, a 80-year-old roller coaster going, a 90-year-old roller coaster still going, a 100-year-old flume ride still going. As long as they still have those traditional rides, I think the future of Kennywood, will be as big as they want it to be. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No worries. I just thought about something. I was like, now, the park expansion of where it could potentially go, they own that parking lot over in the corner back here that potentially they could expand to or make a portion.
You know, I also
of
thought
that.
about this too. If you think about it, see that we're pointing off to where the clock is beside the
KENNYWOOD Park
racer.
building. Mm-hmm.
That building in the down that hillside,
Yep.
it's just a maintenance shed. There's also another storage maintenance shed down further down
Right.
the ravine.
Yeah.
They moved the maintenance shed down the ravine.
Right.
They had that area to spans. They could put another ride there.
They could put another
put
ride
something
there.
else down there.
Rumors, only rumors, but I can say for sure that I've heard that the area down the hillside behind that building, they leased from somewhere, some railroad company or whatever, for the next 99 years.
Oh, they got it. Well, I don't know why they leased it. Just buy it.
Yeah. So there's, at Universal Studios Hollywood, half of the park is on this little top plane. Then you go down 2 giant escalators that go down a mountainside to the bottom half of the park, and there are several rides there. I could see a potential scenario where they built something in those little ravines where you could have to take a large escalator or elevator to, that would have a whole large section of the park in that little ravine, or potentially that parking lot, or they made that parking lot one of a parking lot and built into the parking lot. I could see all of these things as a potential thing happening, but I've heard so many rumors about Kennywood of what they could do and would do and may do. They were supposed to build a hotel and a water park over in that little parking
Yeah,
lot.
that never came to pass.
That never came to pass. So we don't really know the future of what that is. And now with new ownership,
Yeah,
hope-
this sky's
we
the
hope-
limit with them, and I'm really hopeful too.
Yeah.
So, okay, so one more question, brother, and
Yeah.
we'll move on.
Yeah.
So, both of us, you and I, have spent so many years coming to Kennywood.
yeah,
And over the years, we've seen like rides, attractions, food stands, games come and go.
sure.
Although time does pass and these things do happen,
Yeah.
what do you think should be the mainstay of Kennywood Park?
I mean, I think it begins and ends with the Phantom's Revenge. I think that's still the flagship. Steel Curtain potentially could surpass.
When they get it right.
If they get it right, maybe at some point it'll surpass that. I don't think it will. The fact is, this ride I don't know if anyone had the pleasure of riding the original Steel Curtain, but I think I have Steel Phantom. I mean, yeah.
I have.
But I have a loose neck based on my time riding that, because when you hit those double dip hills, it would hit you.
Boom, boom.
Boom, 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 like this.
Those old arrow restraints were not fun.
Yeah, and I could potentially see a scenario where some of this is altered to make it more accessible.
Oh, we'll see.
I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case and they made this into a different. This
Tom's pointing to the curtain.
Yeah, the Steel Curtain.
We're looking out the window as we're talking.
The Steel Curtain Revenge, I guess you could say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that, where it's its own unique ride in a few years. But maybe they'll fix it. But yeah, the legacy is the roller coasters. Obviously, people come here to ride, roller coasters that, I never had the pleasure. I tried a couple years ago, and they weren't open last year, so fingers crossed for this year. I never had the pleasure to ride Leap the Dips at Lakemont Park.
What a wonderful coaster.
Yeah.
We'll share the story. You probably don't know this. I'll share this with you. The last year that it was open, before they shut it down, we had our little group thing. We had our Kennywood KRAZY meetup at that park because we heard that it was going to be last year.
Right,
through the grapevine.
Okay.
And so Rock and I said, okay, let's ask our friends.
Yeah.
So like the 8 of us went up, rode all day.
Yeah.
And they were having music.
Yeah.
But also like a month later, we were coming back from Hershey Park, our ACE event in CocoCon.
Yeah.
And when I looked at Raquel, we're going to be passing Lakemont Park.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Rock and I got on that coaster, didn't get off. For like an hour straight. And it was so much fun. So, yeah, we're just hoping that, So thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
I want to try to end it right there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm glad we got to catch up.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Bartins. And Tom, look at them and tell them what's going on in your channel next.
Oh man, look, a lot of different, hopefully getting out, the weather's a lot nicer, so we're going to hopefully get out and actually get to some stuff, maybe some travel, maybe some live events. Hopefully, it's very cold today, but hopefully in the near future we'll be able to do some stuff. The draft is coming up this month, so I do a lot of Steelers draft stuff. So that'll be hitting the channel. Just all types of different exciting things. I run a variety channel, and there are a lot of different things I run on my channel. So feel free to check it out when you can. And for those of you, look, a few of you have already stopped me today. I mean, I don't expect anybody to watch this channel, to be honest with you. It means so much to people do, and the fact that you stop me and say you watch the channel means everything to me. So thank you guys so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Bartins and Tom Was Here. Go check us out his channel. Now, for you who are watching us live, we're gonna have a member meetup at 3 o'clock at FAM. Let's get our Phantom on, ladies and gentlemen. God is good all the time, and love each other, mad, crazy love, guys. And Tom, he was here.
I was here.
And he can say, how's it go, brother?
And when it comes to an interview, KENNYWOOD KRAZY, I can say that my name is Tom and I was here.
All right, guys, take care.